you have a lot of things to say, which is amazing, but I didn't get to talk about my players. Made a list. Didn't go so well.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Draft Digest. The sickest NFL draft and scouting podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Emily Van Buskirk here with John Vogel, and you are listening to the Sick Podcast Draft Digest edition, week 1 recap.
Yeah. Yeah. What a
Nailed
week one
it.
we had.
I was like, wait a minute, what week are we in? Week 1. Week 1 recap.
What a week we had.
I don't even want to talk about it because this is the thing, okay? Week 1 is so exciting. We have football back. It's great, but it doesn't ever go how you think it's going to go. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be Bill Belichick. It's not going to go how you think it's going to go. And I don't know why every year I forget that. I've been doing this 14 years. I don't know why I think that I know what's going to happen because none of us do because we haven't seen these teams play. They haven't seen each other. They haven't seen themselves play. So I almost don't even want to talk about it because I feel like I got everything wrong.
No.
But that's how we learn and that's how we grow.
First off, wow, what a week. I love the Belichick shot there. Low-hanging fruit had to.
All I've been seeing up until we're starting the show is videos of Jordan on the sideline and the question why. So like you can't go on the internet without seeing that clip.
Yeah. And from the spring. I thought that it was really funny before the game when it came out that that the depth chart was absolutely empty. Such a Belichick style thing. And that's why I kind of poked at it. I think it was halftime, it was 27-7. And I said, if you put names on that too deep, it'd be 41-7 right now. And it was 41-7. And somebody, I forget who exactly it was. I think somebody who follows me commented on it and they went, well.
I
was like,
look at Mr. Vogel.
That's good. But no, it was a fun week. We had, obviously we had, the Alabama goes down, Texas goes down, Notre Dame made it a really great game against Miami there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of players I think that popped.
Yeah.
I know if I can start anywhere, I want to start with my guy that I came in here and I said, I think he's going to be the first overall pick of the 2026 NFL draft. Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU.
I do have to give it to you for that one in that game. Clemson really underwhelmed in that.
Offensively, yes. Yeah. Defensively, they brought everything.
I mean, offensively, I really thought that, Klubnik was going to be the better quarterback in that game, given everything. And that's the example I'm talking about, given everything we know, everything we've seen. But you just can't know. You just can't. So hats off to Nussmeier. He was very impressive.
The thing that I really liked, first off, about his performance, and I think he's put himself very firmly in going into this year now in terms of, if you want to talk about a cerebral guy, a guy that can run the line of scrimmage, he is the number one prospect in that regard. And he proved it because Clemson brought everything that they possibly could at him. They were bringing blitzes, disguising their looks. And if you were watching pre-snap, you might have noticed that Nussmeier was picking up on every bit of it. There was a specific play, second quarter, it's like 2nd down and 9. At this point in the game, neither team has been able to really get anything on 2nd down.
Right.
Their 3rd downs were averaging, both teams combined, I think we're averaging like 10 or 11 yards to go on 3rd down. And they went with 11 personnel. They went 2-by-1 formation. They brought the slot in motion. And the nickel moved. And you saw Garrett. He was like, wait a second. Something's wrong here.
Wait a second.
He goes up to the line of scrimmage. And so now I'm like, what is he seeing? So I look at the defense. They're in like a 2-high shell, but they're shifted and kind of showing that they're going to go to 3. And I'm like, that's an interesting look. Okay, so they're trying to disguise their snap. what is he? I still wasn't quite seeing it. So he calls an audible. He flips the running back from the right to the left and then brings that guy back in motion. So now you're going to have a 2-by-1 set, but with the running back, and I think the tight end was over there too. So you're putting 4 guys and leaving a one-on-one over here.
Oh, are you talking about the Friday Night Lights call over there?
I don't know if it was Friday Night Lights. I don't know.
We're talking about this play.
No, it wasn't that one. No, this wasn't a big play. It was a 5-yard gain.
But okay.
When he picked up on it,
he called this a few times then, but similar plays.
What he picked up on was when he brought the slot receiver back in motion, the safety moved with the slot instead of nickel this time. And he realized, they're in zero. They're about to bring everything at me. And he got that ball out there quick. So instead of having 3rd and 17, it's 3rd and 5. And I think that was right when they got the first down of the game for them. He was doing that all night with the picking up on the pre-snap stuff. And then I thought in that 3rd, 4th quarter, him standing in the pocket with just absolute chaos coming in around him, he was so poised. Emily, I sat here all Thursday night, all Friday night, all day Saturday. I didn't see one quarterback watching 4 or 5 games a time slot do what he did in that game. That was the best quarterback play I saw all weekend. And he's taken a step forward. He's also sporting the number 18, which is a huge deal at LSU for anybody who doesn't know. That's like your best player, your grittiest player, the guy that most, exemplifies the team. Mm-hmm. He's wearing 18. He's the first quarterback at LSU to ever do it. And he came out there and put a hell of a performance together when he needed to. So I was blown away. I absolutely loved it. Yeah. Couldn't be more excited about his prospect and what's going to happen with him throughout the year. But that was a great first start. I know that the scoreboard doesn't show it. It really should have been 24-10. If you take that Berry and Brown touchdown, should have been a touchdown. They called it incomplete. Yeah. But he was phenomenal against probably one of the best defenses in the country.
I know you're about the players that pop, but I have to shout out Brian Kelly because I did not think he had some of this in him. When you talk about grit and just savvy play calling and things that people didn't, I don't think going in expect from him, which is crazy because he is a very tenured coach. He's done a lot of football. He's seen a lot of football, but there's something about him being at LSU that's kind of lost a little bit of that. But I think this reminded us who Brian Kelly is and why he's good at what he does. But it was that specific play where they lined up 4 wide and they had the one-on-one matchup on the other side in the red zone. I actually texted a picture of that to an offensive coordinator because I was like, this was a perfect fullback type situation that could have happened. And we were talking about it because I love when they throw in tight ends, multiple tight ends. Give me 4 tight ends set. I will take it. Amazing. But I was very impressed with just the play calling, the things that he did, aside from the guys on the field who were incredible. But I was impressed with Brian Kelly.
I like that he's taken the training wheels off for Nuss, and he's allowing him to go up to the line of scrimmage, make the changes that he needs to. That is also a step forward for him because Garrett didn't do a lot of that last year. So if he can control the line of scrimmage pre-snap the way that he did in this game, do it the rest of the year. I mean, Coach Corso might be going out perfect, 100. He picked all the games right. First
I know,
off,
that was crazy.
Picks all the. I should have bet on it. I never thought about it, but especially when he said Florida State, I was like, oh yeah, that's a body pick.
I know, but when he said that, I was like, that would be such a Florida State thing to do. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah.
And then he was several times during his last show. He said LSU is going to win the national championship this year.
And he got the Ohio State pick, right? I mean, he got them all.
He got them all. Every single one that he put out there.
Impressive.
He nailed it. So I don't know. He might come back for another show with that kind of performance. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Let him rest.
He might have to come back again.
He's given us too much. He needs a vacation.
Let me touch on Florida State real quick too.
Yeah.
Because we just briefly mentioned it. The biggest question about Florida State was going to be that offense, obviously. Gus
Mhm.
Malzahn, you're bringing in Thomas Castellanos from Boston College, who was a good player there last year.
Yeah.
But he's an undersized quarterback. And there were times last year at Boston College that he did not look the part. And I thought it was a weird transfer. It was a step up because of the prestige that Florida State has and the level of program they're considered among the blue bloods. But from a talent standpoint, I felt like it was a very lateral move,
Yeah.
maybe that the money would be better, but it's very lateral from a talent standpoint. But no, he came out there and proved us all wrong, because he was one of the most impressive guys to watch this past week. I really thought Ty Simpson was going to be really good, which he wasn't. Let's just be honest. He wasn't that impressive. First start, hostile environment, all those things that I said Arch is going to lose the game against Ohio State, and I picked Ty to do it. Total hypocritic move, but that's okay. Castellanos proves to us that he's got that talent standpoint to where if he continues to develop as a passer, I think he's got 2 years of eligibility, or one this year and next year. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's where he's at.
I think that's right.
If he continues to develop as a passer, you're looking at a Kyler Murray kind of player here. So,
and that's an interesting point, because the reason I think what worked so well is because you do have Gus Malzahn who develops running better than most. Like when I saw him go there, I was like, this is going to be fun, because nobody runs the ball like a Gus Malzahn offense. Yeah. So they are a match in that regard, but will they rely on that, right? Because they know he does that well, and then not really fully. I'm not saying that they wouldn't develop, the passing at all, but will it get developed to the potential that it needs to be? Will be the question. If they can rely on the running and have him run and do well, why rock the boat kind of situation, especially in a climate where Florida State is heavily unfavored and heavily rooted against, and just not trusted. They're going to want wins more than anything. So I think that's an interesting question, is can he develop that side, in time for the next level, and possibly, but.
And I think that that's a big problem with college football in general right now, in terms of the quarterbacks, and why it's so refreshing to see Garrett Nussmeier come out with this absolutely revamped step forward. Because I talk to scouts, I talk to coaches, all the scouts tell me the same thing, which is the coaches now, they don't have time to go through a lot of fundamental football in college football, because they're limited with the time they have with these guys. So they're focused on install. And so they don't have a lot of time to develop passing.
No, and they don't know if guys are going to stay. So why invest? I've talked to coaches. They're like, I want to invest and pour into these guys, but we don't know if they're going to be here. So it could be a complete waste of energy and time. And that sucks.
And that's all been part of the NIL problem, right?
Yeah.
The negatives that have come out of NIL, for all the positives that it's brought. That is one of the negatives that we've gotten out of it. So that is the question, and that is a very big question, as a passer. If he can get to a level at least close to Kyler Murray, then that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He's going to be that kind of a player. The last one, just real quick, this is totally off script. We haven't even mentioned this. It's because we're talking about quarterbacks. This is the last one that really popped at me all week. Devon Dampier at Utah was so good. Yeah. So I liked Devon a lot last year at New Mexico. And I thought, good athlete. I don't know how good, because it's New Mexico. But he can run around. He's got a hell of an arm. And there's some tools here to work with. So when I found out he was going to Utah this summer, I was interested. I'm like, okay, that's a good fit. Utah is going to play some tough physical football. So can he hold up in it? They're going to probably get his body right, because you're going to have to. He was undersized. He was quite lean at New Mexico. Yeah. And he came out 20 pounds heavier against UCLA and absolutely played an incredible game against that defense. Yeah. Now, it's UCLA. I get it. they're not in a great place as a program right now.
No, but that's kind of like a rivalry. It's become like a rivalry game. So they were fighting. It wasn't like everyone's like, oh, it wasn't close. Yes and no. Like, I guess technically no, but it was still a hard fought. UCLA was not going to leave stuff on the field.
No,
they were going to walk away without leaving.
That's what I think made Dampier's performance even more impressive.
Exactly.
Is I do want to see him protect himself a little bit more as a runner, but this guy, I don't want to throw a crazy comp here, because the player that kept coming back to me was Michael Vick. Like that's how he was kind of playing. Vick was a lefty. I don't think Devon's a lefty, but Vick had that strong arm that could throw the ball a mile. He had that athletic ability where he was really good. Now, Devon has probably got this very close, if not the same arm strength. I think he's a little bit more developed as a passer than Vick was at Virginia Tech. Yeah. And he's not the pure athlete that Vick was, but he has very high level athletic ability. So, and he hit a couple of those deep balls beautifully. So those are the three quarterbacks I think that stood out to me all week from what I was able to see. Was Castellanos, Dampier. I know, and Nuss. I know that I saw a bunch of guys talking about Sellers. Okay, Sellers is going to be fun because he's a big guy.
I'm gonna throw a quarterback name at you. Probably, and only because I have history with this family, history with him. But I was very much impressed with how he did. Miller Moss at Louisville. He even garnered praise from Nick Saban. So you're doing good if Nick Saban's praising a guy that you're looking at. But I've always enjoyed him. He actually almost went to Stanford. Stanford recruited him, and I'll never forget. Here's a quick little behind the scenes story, but he went on his visit. He sat down with David Shaw in David's office, and they had a conversation. And he comes out, right, and leaves. And he said to his mom, I don't know if that guy likes football. And then he went to USC because it was such a bad experience. And I mean, I've been talking about this for years, so it wasn't surprising to me, but to lose a guy like Miller when now obviously in hindsight, maybe Stanford wouldn't have been the best place for him anyways. But, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that he didn't end up there, but traditionally he would have fit so well into that Stanford Harbaugh era of offense. Yeah. But then he went to USC and then whatever. But now him at Louisville and Jeff Brom, I love that combination. So he's definitely a guy I'm watching. I think he looks the part. He plays really well. He's very passionate, and he's an actual stand-up good kid, like very family oriented, very just like good guy. So he's a guy that I was impressed with and I'm rooting for.
I think I didn't get a chance to watch them. They played Eastern Kentucky. So I get it. Anybody in Louisville, that was not high on my radar.
I understand.
Time slot. So I haven't looked at it. But I would be curious to know what you think.
There is no game day environment. I will say Louisville is top 10 college football game day environments. That good of an environment there. They're one of the first schools to bring in an in-house DJ, which actually a lot of schools are doing now, and makes a difference for the crowd, makes a difference for the players. And it was back when Charlie Strong was there. He was out at a nightclub in Louisville, another fun story. And he heard this DJ, Keith, K-Dog, and went up to him in the club and was like, I want you to play and spin at Louisville games. True story. Charlie Strong
Makes
in the
sense.
club.
Makes sense.
But anyways, Louisville's a good environment. I think they're going to be fun to watch. I don't know how successful they'll be, but Moss was 17 of 25, 233 yards, 1 touchdown. Not a jumping out stat, but for his first game there, I think it's something that'll be built on, especially within that offense under Brom.
Yeah, I liked him at USC, and I thought it was a weird fit because what we've kind of learned about USC and Lincoln Riley is that people have kind of figured that scheme out.
Yeah.
Now when you got the best players on the field, like they played Missouri State this week and blew them out 73-13, like that system works. But
I had so many tweets lined up about that where I was like, this feels like when I'm at a bar and I see my ex in the bar and I start taking 73 shots just to prove a point. Do you know what I mean? That was the energy that game was giving. It's like, okay, we get it. You could put points on the board, but it was overkill.
Yeah, they kept going. Yeah,
for no reason. You know what I mean? Like,
there was some frustration that was probably being vented over the last couple years.
100%.
There.
I get it. It's petty, and I'm here for it, but it doesn't impress anybody.
The problem with Miller in that offense is it's all options. It's 4 verticals and every single route has some sort of stem option. It's very similar to what Heupel does at Tennessee. Yeah. Without the wide splits. So those systems are kind of figured out. There's ways that you could play that and take away those option stems or force the quarterback to make a throw thinking that you're playing it one way and you jump the ball. So there's not a lot of variety in those schemes. Right. Whereas with him going to Louisville, people could be like, oh, that's a step down because, USC, blue blood, Louisville, basketball school, Yeah. But with Jeff Brom, who has brought 2 transfer quarterbacks in the last 2 years there at Louisville, both of them are still in the NFL. Whether they're on practice squads or third string quarterbacks, it doesn't matter. Those guys were not considered draftable players until they played for Brom.
Right.
Miller Moss is the best one that's come through there. And I agree with you. I think that's the perfect fit for him. It's going to allow him to really process. Brom's a great quarterback guy. He was a quarterback himself. His brother, also a second-round draft pick at quarterback. He's the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach. That's a great system.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So you want me to bring up a couple of edge rushers while I'm at it? Because, I know
they're coming.
We had them pop. So what I'd like to do on game day is run 5 games deep. So screen back here behind me splits into 4. Thank you, YouTube TV. Amazing this year.
Yeah.
Splitting that stuff up, letting me choose the games I get to put up there, not forcing me to watch 4 different games. Yes. Thank you. Please. So much better. So one of the games that I did keep an eye on, and it was just to get a feel for what Penn State looks like. Dennis Sutton was a game wrecker against Nevada. I mean, they couldn't do anything to stop him. It didn't matter. Every time I looked at the screen and looked at that game, because there were a couple others going on. There's Iowa State, San Diego. There's Oregon, Montana. There's Georgia, Marshall. Every time I looked at that game, Florida State, Alabama obviously is going on too. That was the main attraction. Every time I looked at Penn State, Dennis Sutton is in the backfield wrecking havoc again. Like he gets hands on the football when he's tackling. He's got a great first step, ridiculously good speed rusher. There's some motor concerns as the play kind of moves away from him, but he's a vicious wrap-up tackler. He's a very good athlete. Like, he's taken a step this year. So we've talked about Micah Parsons, what were the Cowboys doing?
Oh my God. I have thoughts on that. Okay. It's not, people are like, this is not the end of the world. It'll be all right.
What are we doing? Right. You're trading the best defensive player in the league. So Micah Parsons.
Best for what? They're not, what do you think they're going to win the Super Bowl just because they have Micah Parsons this year?
No, but the Cowboys have no pass rush now.
They don't have a lot of things, though. So really, this is a building year for the future, and they got 2 first-round picks for him. In a year,
I don't know if Jerry's does Jerry have future?
In a year where they're going to be a good QB draft class, okay? It's a bigger picture right now. Everyone wants to be like, oh my God, this is a terrible loss in the moment. And I understand nobody wants to lose a good player like that, but the Cowboys have got to do something different, just top to bottom. And
Micah's the last guy that should be going, though.
What does it matter? But my point is, what does it matter?
Well, because the whole point, it goes back to culture, right?
Okay.
What did Coach Danielson come on here and tell us about culture? Which is, it's what you allow. That's what culture is. It's what you allow. Okay. So your whole point for not signing Micah Parsons, if you're Jerry Jones, at least publicly, is because he's missed a few games for us. Fact check. He's missed 8 games. You think
that there's way more stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about? Like,
sure, yeah. He sat him down and he said, He came in for a leadership meeting. He turned it into a business meeting. Said, "Hey, how do these numbers sound?" Mike is like, "Good. Talk to my agent." He never talked to his agent and wanted the deal done just like him and Micah sat down and talked about. Can't do business like that anymore. I'm sorry, Jerry. It's not 1985 anymore. All right, this is 2025. So Micah Parsons has missed 8 games. Okay. You signed Dak Prescott last year to the #1 quarterback contract in the league. How many games has Dak Prescott missed?
Yeah.
And then you trade Micah and you turn around and you give Deron Bland the 6th highest corner contract in the NFL, who played 2 games last year because he was, get this, hurt. He was hurt last year.
I would say when you put all these things together, I see the madness in it. But if you treat them as more isolated incidences, it makes a little more sense to me, at least. But I
don't get it. My point is that there and say it's because the guy's not healthy enough, and then turn around and sign the guy that missed all last year.
But I don't believe everything that I hear from the internet about what Jerry Jones is saying, because that's silly. You know what I mean? Like, Jerry Jones is not putting.
I heard it out of his mouth. That's the thing.
I know, but I don't, and personally don't believe what he's going to say forward facing, given the amount of things. Like, I don't know if you watched that documentary on him. It was very interesting and also taken with a grain of salt, but there's clearly like issues going on with this guy. What I'm saying is, I don't think people are up in arms about it and upset about it. And I get that. But what, at the end of the day, like, they weren't going to win. They weren't going to go to the playoffs. So, like,
yeah, maybe, but now you don't have a pass rush. Like, what are you going to do? Like,
what were they going to do anyway?
Well, at least Micah would take attention so that
he would do some stuff.
Those opportunities.
He's one guy, and they need so much help. So I hope that he finds success somewhere and maybe does really well. And I'm a Cowboys fan. My husband's from Texas. I've become a Cowboys fan, and I just wish the best for him. So
he's going to tear it up in Green Bay.
So good for him. And that seems to be what he wanted anyway. So whatever.
That's fair. But anyway. My point being, Penn State's put out Micah Parsons. They put out Abdul Carter, Chop Robinson. These guys that are really impactful. Dennis Sutton is right next in line for that. He's incredible.
I'm excited to I honestly don't. I can't say that I remember seeing him, but now I'm going to look for him.
So Rueben Bain Jr. is the other one out of Miami. Wow. Put a clinic together against Notre Dame. They couldn't keep him out of the backfield. And I don't think he registered a sack until the 4th quarter, but he was consistently back there harassing.
Yeah.
CJ Carr, shout out to CJ Carr, because all things considered, in your first game with that weather going on in Miami, pretty good start. It was in the first quarter. Rueben bent completely unnaturally around the edge, totally blew by the left tackle, and Carr somehow knew he was coming and stepped up and made him miss, and then got outside the pocket. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to do that. Bain comes up with a sack there. He was absolutely dominant in this game, and there are certain guys. I think I've gotten to the point where I've watched so much football that, like, when you see a top 10 talent, it screams at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a top 10 talent if I've ever seen one. Granted, I don't know what the background looks like. I'm not gonna go ahead and get on that stance yet. I hope he stays healthy this year because he's a great player. He missed last year with several games last year with an injury. But that guy, top 10 type talent. Absolutely incredible. Run defender, pass rusher. He's got the whole package. He's doing it from like a 275-pound body. He's scary. Really good.
Yeah. That was crazy to see Miami win that game, but good for them.
I'll give you one more defender if you want it.
Yeah.
Corner.
Okay.
LSU, number 4, Mansour Delane. Transfer from Virginia Tech. That guy was absolutely locked down all night. I'm making a bold statement because I'll do this upon occasion.
Yes.
Cornerback 1 this year, Mansour Delane. He sticky man coverage ability. Didn't take a flag all night. Just disruptive with his positioning, so you can't throw the flag because he's also obligated to, certain positioning as he's running. He does a great job setting up that way.
Yeah.
And then he tracks the ball really well in zone coverage. Came up with an interception in the fourth quarter. And it was a total zone drop where he read it the whole way. Klubnik overthrew it, and he was there to capitalize on it. He's got ball skills. He had to go up and kind of twist his body a little bit to make the catch, but shut down, lockdown corner. I'll take him any day of the week. First round, 100%.
Nice.
Those are my pops this week.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. That was it.
Oh no! I mean, there's a lot more.
Why don't you give me one from a group of 5, because that's what I really care about.
All right, let's see. Group of 5. You know what? Robert Henry Jr., running back, Texas San Antonio.
Okay.
That guy, they played Texas A&M. They lost 42-24.
Yes.
But Robert Henry Jr. is 14 points of the reason why they scored 24 points. And probably, honestly, should get credit for those other 10. He was phenomenal in this game. I think at halftime he had 170 rushing yards.
Wow.
Maybe it was the play after halftime. He broke the first play of the second half, like 76 yards for a touchdown. Good receiver out of the backfield, adjusts as a receiver to the ball. He's effective between the tackles.
Yeah.
He's got some capable contact balance. But yeah, he looked like he didn't belong in San Antonio. He belonged in the SEC. He ran like it.
Well, yeah. Thank goodness for him in that game.
Would have been a little more. Yeah, would have been a little more embarrassing,
Well, I'll go on a running back tangent there. I'll see your guy and raise you 2 running backs from Fresno State.
Oh.
Donaldson and Rayshawn Luke, who is absolutely becoming my new favorite running back. He didn't have as many yards, although I believe both of them bested 90 or 100 in that game, which thank God, because EJ was turnover prone, that's another conversation for another day. But all 3 running backs in this Fresno State win, the first win under Matt Entz in the Entz era, all 3 of them were great. And it really gave me hope for the future of Fresno State's offense, and we knew this was going to happen with Entz, right? He favors a run heavy fullback style kind of offense. But it was good to see him utilize these guys. Rayshawn Luke looks like, and this is going to sound crazy because he's not a big guy. I would have to look up his stats, but he runs the ball. I won't say he looks like, he runs the ball like Marshawn Lynch. It is the weirdest thing. I know it's strange, but I was watching.
No. There's a couple guys that had that style last year as well.
He runs like he's not 5'9". I mean, he's 5'9", 180. So he's not little.
Bigger than that, yeah.
But he plays like he's just way bigger than that. And watching him make plays that, a lot of guys his size wouldn't even try was very, very satisfying. So, and I know he transferred in. I was talking with Mike, our guy, about him because he came in from, I want to say, where did he come from? Hold that thought. It was funny because Hughes and I were talking about it. Oh, Arizona. So he came over from Arizona. Okay. And people had thought he might do better, but not in the Brennan offense. But it was fun to watch him. I was at Fresno State this weekend. I forgot why people do not go to Fresno in August. It was 100 degrees at kickoff, but it was like sweltering 100 degrees. But it was good to see the run game. I think they had 270 yards of rushing. It was great. So Georgia Southern, not really much that impressed me, but that did impress me from that. So
yeah, I think what's his name's over there, Helton, right?
Yes. He's been there for a little while, and it's not that they're bad. They started off really well, but
yeah, I saw it was a close game.
Yeah, at the half, and they kind of peter out. So, but that was one of my guys. And then I was at the San Jose State Central Michigan, watching Matt Drinkall get his first win on the road.
Yeah.
At a big school. And, watching him put in 4 fullbacks was the most satisfying thing I've ever seen. It was a tough game, but Rusty Van Wetsinga is their FB1, and he had an amazing game. Not on the stat sheet, so but if you watch film of him, it was incredible. Number 41.
Your guy at Navy absolutely looked great.
Alex Teka.
Mm-hmm.
I can never say Teka. I can never say it. Yes. You know what's funny though, but Scott, shout out Scott Strasmore, their SID. When I was doing I did a piece earlier in the year about fullbacks to watch this year because I always like to round up a few, and I wanted to put Alex on there, but he said they're shying away from the name fullback and they don't list him as that always. So sometimes he's running back, but then I go see him in the weekly honors and it's like fullback Alex Teska. So he's a fullback, but he had a great game. Yeah,
he looked awesome.
He's incredible.
Yeah, it was wonderful because I think I think Coach probably took it out on me a little bit for wanting to say go Army, beat Navy.
I was like, please drop 50, please.
Well, they dropped 50, all right, but they pulled Horvath at halftime, and I was playing friend of the show, Ford Nystrom, in fantasy this week, and got absolutely railed because I needed those other 20 points that I didn't get. So, shout out, Coach. Thanks, Coach. I get it now. Please don't do that again.
Hey, Horvath is a precious. If we're going to continue the Horvath for Heisman, he needs to not get injured in games like that. So,
well, true. That is true. But I think
I have to ask you. I know I said G5, but quickly, I'm curious. Obviously, we talked about Texas, Ohio State, but so where are you on the Arch Manning side of things? Are you on?
I'm not on the side of he's a terrible player.
Great.
I think you need to go back and you need to look at everything that I've said previously leading up to this, because my whole point wasn't, that Arch Manning is a bad player.
Right.
I think the statement that I kind of had when he came out of high school is he's a 3-star prospect if his name is Smith.
With a 5-star name, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, he played 2A in Louisiana, which is, if people don't understand how high school football works, 2A is like there's 1A and 2A. 1A is the lowest. And then you don't have 1A.
The film of his high school has been circulating on the internet because people are like, this is what he played. So
this was his first start against high-level college potential NFL talent.
Yeah.
He was confused. He wasn't seeing the field very well.
Yeah.
Most of his throws were underneath until the third quarter when he started pushing it. You saw him make the mistake on that comeback route where that dude just broke on it way faster than he thought he was capable of.
Right.
You also saw the flashes of brilliance, right?
Yes, there was some
touchdown throw to the tight end on the wheel route down the sideline in between 2 defenders. You saw that stuff.
Yeah.
So clearly they had the training wheels on him, and they were like, we need to work it in and not do anything too complicated.
Right.
And I think in 12 weeks, he's going to be a totally different player.
Do you think there's any truth there's 2 things I heard, via the internet about this game that I thought were interesting. And I'm curious if you think there's any truth to this or merit to it. One of them is, do you think either team, Texas particularly, because they're kind of like this, didn't want to give away too much of an offensive playbook this early on such a big stage to everybody in the world?
No, I don't think that was any part of it, because this is also a very important game.
Yeah. It's going to have implications. Yes.
Well, yeah, this is you're out of conference. So you got to play well in this game. You can't get by with the bare minimum.
Right.
You have the rest of your conference schedule, which, let's face it, the SEC, extremely dominant in the trenches, extremely across the board. So you really, maybe there's some trick plays you're holding at this point, because every coach is going to hold on to some trick plays and try to save them until week 10, week 11, week 12 before they start rolling them out. But because you don't want to put those on tape, because then you can't use it again once you use it once.
Well, except somebody did. Who was the team that did the fake punt?
Oh, that was South Florida against our friend over there.
Boise State. Bullish, yes. The guy had the same.
Okay.
Cal used to have that same play for Jared Goff because Jared Goff and the punter had the same number, 16, at the time, and it was called the gunt. And he would come in, and they would pretend it was the punter. He'd line up like he was going to punt it, and Jared could punt if he needed to because he had played soccer and he could kick.
Right.
And they would do that, and they would interchange them. And so when I saw Golish throw that in, I was like, this man is a bad man. Like that was week one.
You see that. You don't know, but again, that was an important game for South Florida because Boise State's ranked.
That's true. So you pull it out, okay.
But no, for Texas,
they're not holding back.
Trying to hide anything,
right?
The reason that they were being held back is because they did not have the confidence in Arch Manning to go out there and execute it.
So that would be my next question: is there was rumblings about this is why we saw Ewers, however you say it,
Ewers,
yeah. This is why everyone was like, why is Ewers playing when you have Arch Manning? Was this why? Because maybe he wasn't ready and hasn't developed, and Sarkisian knew that. And so that's why, Ewers
and
was
I said this back, and somebody brought this back up to me on Twitter. I forget who it was, but thank you, whoever it was. They brought back this tweet that I had said while Texas was losing to Ohio State last year. Or at the beginning of the year, back in the playoff. And I said, what are they seeing in practice that is making them put Ewers out there over
Right. And so now this is starting to make more sense for everybody.
Well, yeah, it's experience too. Yeah. That's why I'm saying in 12 weeks, Arch Manning is going to be a completely different player.
Yes, 100%.
Because he has no real experience.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say, oh, huge, Louisiana high school career against 2A. That's not experience. Not for this. Doesn't prepare you up for it.
Well, at least the floor is low now. So,
well,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, people really were just unkind about all this.
No, they were, and I wasn't going to get into all of that because.
No, I know, and we don't have to repeat it.
It's just what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about all offseason. Hey, we just went through this with Shador Sanders. Let's not do this to Arch Manning. Yeah, you know what I mean? Let's learn the lesson. Nobody listened. And now, we've got all this vitriol out here about Arch is terrible. He's trash. Well,
I know. It's awful.
It's one game. They're going to be just fine. I don't know who Texas is playing off the top of my head this week.
San Jose State.
Oh, smash them. Okay. Not a chance.
Okay.
Look, Texas in the trenches, they'll be fine. They'll hold up just fine.
Yes,
and that's the other thing, too. He had 4 brand new offensive linemen that were blocking for him. There's one guy that had started more than like 2 games. So that's a whole nother aspect of this that they had to figure out. And they're doing it against one of the best defenses in college football.
Yeah.
So
it was tough. Last thing I want to mention before my last point is I have to shout out Cal beating Oregon State 34-15. Really, nobody thought that was going to be the case with a freshman quarterback. An unreal situation. And I've been high on Oregon State. I don't know what happened. I don't really understand it. And I watched it and I don't really get it still. But shout out to the Bears because thank God someone in the Bay Area is going to be good.
No, I liked the new quarterback. Do you have his name? I didn't get his name.
Yes, I do. It's actually a little bit
yeah, I remember it being unorthodox.
It's not easy to say. Yeah. Okay. I can't. It's Jaren. Jaren's his first. Jaren Q Saga. I can't say it.
Okay. So Jaren looked awesome.
Jaren,
yes.
He's a good player. He's a freshman. Plays like a lot older than he is.
I had no idea he was a freshman until they said that. And I went, wait, what? He's built. He's got a good body. He's a capable runner.
Yes.
I thought he had pretty good arm strength. He throws the ball pretty well with touch. Flashed some really great ball placement. Now, when he gets under pressure, that's where he makes his mistakes. There were a couple points in the game. Oregon State was able to get some pressure to him, and that's where he wasn't great. But again, first start, you're going out there.
It's not bad.
They were on the road too, were they not? In Oregon State?
Yeah, they were in Corvallis, which is not an easy place to play.
No, that place gets loud, especially
that's why
they build up the other side of it now too, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the one side stands.
Yes, they did the complete renovation. It's a great stadium. It's loud. Corvallis passionate fan base. There's not, you're 30 minutes up the road from Eugene, but there's not a lot of other, that's really what the focus is in the town. So it's great. But it just was strange because I know that Oregon State has a more cohesive offense than that. And I'm not really sure why they could not click and they couldn't find rhythm. So maybe next game. But Cal, I think, was just that disruptive. They came in swinging. And you have to imagine that this is a little bit of Ron Rivera because Wilcox has been there a while. I'm going to say 7 years now, whatever. And they look rejuvenated. They look like these guys have bought in on Jaren here. Like they would trust him to do anything, it seemed like. So kind of exciting. I don't know.
Yeah. Riverboat Ron getting it done. I really like him. I really do.
Me too.
And that was a great performance for them to start off the year.
It was fun.
They got the ACC play coming up. So we got contenders in the ACC apparently in Louisville and Florida State now apparently.
Yeah. So, it's going to be tough.
Miami looks good. Clemson. Everybody can shit on Clemson all they want, but like
Clemson's a good team.
That's a good team.
That was really one of the better games as far as like football. You know what I mean? Like it was a good game. That was one of my favorite games. So
it sure was. So no, I don't have any other points to bring up because we're at 46 minutes for Jamie back there.
That's all right. We'll just go short in the next one. That'll do it then. That's all the edge rushers you got for me tonight.
So far, that's it.
So far, all right. We'll have to see who's gonna do well. In
there'll be two more next week.
I'm sure. I can't wait. All right, guys. Well, I'm Emily Van Buskirk. He's John Vogel. That's been the Draft Digest Sick Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Draft Digest on YouTube, X, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.